What up, everybody? This Ace Boy Rios, Reality Check, episode number 12. Yeah, 12 episodes already. That's crazy. That shit flew by, but we got an honored guest here. Yes, talk of the town. They got the buzz going in the streets. We got Dejon Paul here, man. What's going on with you, bro?
What's good, brother? Thank you for the invite. What's good?
It's good, man. Everything's good. I'm glad that you came through. You came through at a good time, too, because we'll get on the Dom Kitty stuff because that shit pissed me off this morning. And I'm not usually the kind of person that lets shit
get to I don't see you as that type of person.
But it's just like when you gotta, we'll get into that.
For sure.
But I want to just get to talking about you and everything that you got going on right now and how you're building your platform. You've seen different platforms. You've been to different platforms and interviewing and talking and just doing your thing. Out of those platforms, have you taken from that to see what you want to do with your own platform?
Yeah, I learn. I'm a learner, really. So I learn in any room I go in. It's something to learn. Otherwise, God wouldn't have put me there.
Right.
So I'm definitely paying attention, even at different platforms I've been on. Ear Milk, No Jumper, and now Figgmunity. I learned in all of them. I learned something different.
Good. What's the main thing that you've taken away from? This is gonna be a catch-22 too, because I got something on the back end. Like, what is the main thing that you've taken away from the platforms?
Communication. I always feel like I could be a better communicator. And I don't, for whatever reason, I'm the king of misunderstandings. Like, people always misunderstand or misinterpret what I'm saying. So every platform I've learned, like, to at least try to be a better communicator or be aware of how I'm communicating and say exactly how I feel. Don't talk in riddles. Get to the point. If I feel a way about XYZ, communicate that effectively. Chain of command. Just really communication skills I've learned.
Right. And that's what I was going to get into, because I hate to say it, but through our like successes and our failures on these platforms of the experiences and the journeys, like you learn to see like, oh, this is what I don't want to do. You know what I mean? And then me, you've been in the mix. I'm on the outside looking in, right? And
you're an ace boy.
I'm an ace boy, but it's like with the no jumper thing. You know what I mean? Like no jumper. I've never been to no jumper or anything, but from my perspective, it's like missed opportunities.
What you mean?
Like at no jumper, like like the way they could have run things a lot better. You know what I mean?
Oh
like,
yeah, it's clearly not perfect.
It's not perfect, and and like you touched on communication, right?
Yeah.
Like I would say also even professionalism. You know what I mean? Like you're running a business, and any business that just lets talent just walk out the door. You know what I mean?
And it's always disgruntled, and it's always a
like
terrible situation. Never just a good party.
Hey, you know, I'm on my way. I'm on about my stuff.
That's telling of the organization, not to hamper on it, but that is telling of the organization. Yes,
because you're not retaining the talent.
Yeah,
you can't retain the talent. If you can't retain the talent, you're saying you made the talent, but you're not retaining the talent.
Yeah, it's something about you. Then
it's something about you.
If it's whatever, if the pattern, then it's something about you.
Something about you. You're the common denominator.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then to look at the brothers and sisters that have left and what they're doing
after, how everybody blossoms afterwards. Yeah, but I guess at the end of the day, it's kind of, I don't want to say it's a rites of passage at this point, but it's just kind of like it's definitely a training ground, because like I said, you in there with some good podcasters,
some heavy hitters.
Yeah, some heavy hitters.
Yeah, for sure.
You learn to, you know, it's like being in the ghetto, the trenches. For real, like legit being in the trenches. So if you can survive that place, you feel me? I feel like you can make it anywhere in media. And maybe that's what it's there for. Again, like God don't put you in rooms you're not supposed to be in.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what it's for. Just to like, here, I'm gonna put you through bullshit.
Yeah.
So that you can blossom afterwards.
Right.
Like fertilizer.
Do you feel
No jumper is cow fertilizer. It's cow manure. It's shit. And it should make grass and crops and beautiful things grow. Wow, I just realized
look
that.
At you.
Yeah.
Rose from concrete. You know what I mean? And do you feel stronger, or do you feel more confident in your skill set leaving there?
I want to say, well, yes, I would say that only because it's like I have a testimony, I have a story, I went through something, I went through that 6 months, I made a wrong decision to go over there, I went through that 6 months, tumultuous 6 months, and I came out stronger, wiser, and I'm still here today, and I feel like I am a better podcaster. I feel like I know, when I went there, I definitely could say I didn't speak about my personal life on camera.
Right.
You get me like that. I was just a music, and so now I know how to podcast about Dejon, and not just podcast about whatever album came out that week. And you don't want to be a one trick pony, as we see other people in the universe being labeled as, oh, they only do this one thing. I don't want to be that. I don't want to just be the music review guy. I can be the best music review guy, but I don't want to just be that. I have other things to talk about.
But guess what? This is who I am, and this is how I feel about things. This is what makes me move, what makes me tick, and that's what really people are tuning in for.
I agree.
It's like, yeah, they want the rap report card. They want that. They want but they also are tuned in to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, I'm learning that. They care. I'm curious because I'd be like, why? I'd be like, why do you care so much about my life and my personal life? But that's neither here or there. They are interested. So I have to know how to speak about it effectively.
See, but look, don't minimize who you are. You're an amazing person. We're all amazing people. You're an amazing person. You have an amazing story.
Yeah.
And your walk of life, there's a core group or a piece of the pie of people that are tuning in that are relating to you.
That's true.
Like your story, you never know. Your story can be helping somebody through some trials and tribulations in their life. Like and this is not to touch on that, to be on like sexual gender stuff or whatever, but when I was coming up, homosexuality, it wasn't like that open of a thing. You know what I mean? Like where people were sharing. I'm way older than you.
Yeah, but me either. I'm a 90s baby still.
Okay.
When it wasn't the thing. It wasn't on TV. Every character in XYZ, none of that was
none of that. And so being that you walked your walk, there's still children, there's still young men, young women that are struggling with that.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And so for them to be able to see representation is everything.
That's true.
Right? Like to be able to be like, fuck, look at like not
in the hip hop media space.
In the hip hop media space.
Openly gay person.
And then that is a powerful message. Like, look at his walk. Look at how comfortable he is in his skin in hip hop space. Like this motherfucker went on Ace Boys Worldwide.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Got flamed by the chat.
Got flamed by the chat.
Still had a great time.
Had a great time. It's the thing about like going out there and just putting yourself out there in the mix and like, it is what it is. I'm still me at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And so that gives that's like a reflection for people to see, or people out there to be like, you know what? I can't walk confidently in my walk.
Right. And even if even a straight person can be inspired by that type of resilience, I feel like.
Absolutely.
Or being just an individual, any individual, regardless of whatever makes you different, to know that it's okay, hold your head high and go do your job.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? Because that's what I do.
Exactly.
Regardless of whatever's going on. I hold my head high, walk in the room, and I do my job.
And
I noticed you don't have your shades on today, though.
No, I don't have my shades on today. You're in my comfort space.
Busted. No shades.
Hey, don't look at me in the eyes, my nigga.
I told y'all he only do that shade shit around his boys. He don't wear shades any other time.
No, you know I don't have the shades on because you'll see the lights in the shades. You know what I mean?
Respect. Told you. That's just a little joke.
Shit. Oh, that's funny. But to get back to it, and that's even good for us to show our like connection and our brotherhood, our fellowship.
Yes, sir.
And that we are not divided on that front.
Yeah, absolutely.
We are a whole. Like we ain't judging nobody based off of if you ain't hurting kids and doing stuff XYZ, you're a part of the family.
I appreciate that.
And that's important for other people to see. Like from our perspective, like, nah, these niggas ain't bullies. They ain't nobody judging and being opinionated.
Right.
It's love.
Yeah, just jokes.
Just jokes.
You're gonna get that regardless of whatever. Yeah.
And so I love that about you, and you've gone from platform to platform, and you've held your own on these platforms as well.
Yeah, on both.
So with Dejon, you said you don't want to be labeled as just one thing. You don't want to be boxed in. You don't want to be marginalized to what somebody's perspective or opinion of you is.
Yeah.
What do you see yourself being, or what do you say you are?
Oh man, so outside of the self-doubt, because for whatever reason there's this little voice in my head like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. But when I ignore whoever that is, it's just endless potential. I see myself being like an Academy Award winning actor and film director and screenwriter and television screenwriter and like I feel like I could be an EGOT winner, like
Right.
an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and
The sky's the
Tony.
limit, basically.
Yeah, all of those things, as well as like getting into like lifestyle brands and fashion. Like I see that for myself.
Mhm.
But once, and I know it's right, I can get to it once I get rid of that self-doubt voice. I don't
Right.
know where that's stemming from, but it's this little voice in my head that I'm battling.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
all have it. We all have that small little fear on our shoulder, like, nah.
Yeah.
But we'll let that hold us back from greatness. You
Yeah,
know
and
what I
I
mean?
can't. I can't. I'm so tired of it. I'll be like, I can do this. I'm
Flip
doing
that
it.
thing
Yeah,
off the shoulder,
yeah,
like you ain't holding. Because I could deal with not being able to do it.
Mhm.
I can't deal with not trying to do it.
I have to try. Yep.
You know, like, and
I
this
agree.
right now we have like the greatest opportunity.
Oh, the door's wide open.
The door's wide open. We
Yeah.
have so many eyes, so many people paying attention
Mhm.
that really at this point it's on us.
Yeah, we got to. Yeah.
We got to, you know.
Yeah.
And I jumped out here just start doing the interviewing thing because I get to talk to you guys off camera,
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
like a conversation we had before Ace Boys
yeah,
Worldwide
the
started.
great convo. Yep.
Great but this, what I noticed was
Mhm.
the people weren't getting these combos.
No, they weren't sitting. So now you having it on camera. That's the perfect. Yeah.
You know-
Perfect like sidebar conversation that we really be having. Yeah.
And I feel it's important to me,
Mm.
but I feel like it's important to the people to know, like, these are not actors. These are not just people that are coming on being characters. These are real people
Yeah. Yeah.
that have
Absolutely.
real lives, real opinions. And we talked about multitude of things that we're going to talk about on this channel
Mm.
about West Coast music.
Yeah.
What is the issue? Where are we succeeding? Where are we not succeeding?
Mm.
But let's get into, just because we woke up this morning to this,
Yeah.
say
Oh.
house phone.
Yeah. You want me to read the tweet?
Yeah, read the tweet. Yeah,
I
go
got
ahead.
you. So he tweeted this yesterday. I posted it this morning. House phone said, "Y'all pretending like y'all listening to Dom Kennedy in 2024 is hilarious." And it's like, one, who's pretending, and what's hilarious about it?
What is hilarious about that?
Yeah, about listening to Dom Kennedy. Whether it's his old stuff or you tapping in with his new project, Class of 95, out now. He just dropped 4 videos for it. Regardless of, most people like the old shit better. I like the old shit better.
That's fine.
But I'm still listening to him
Yeah.
in 2024, and I'm still tapping in with the new stuff. So,
And so, who wakes up
mhm.
wanting to down talk a LA legend, a Lamert Park
Yeah.
legend? Like Dom, like to
Yeah.
me, like there's certain things like we can't be like, yeah, that's ain't my cup of tea. Dom, come harder next
Yeah.
time, or come more
Please.
vicious.
Yeah.
But and that's like giving an opinion, but to like just throw it out like, nigga,
Mhm.
ain't nobody listening to this nigga.
And I'm laughing at you
And I'm
guys for
laughing.
pretending to listen to it. It's a disrespectful statement. The only reason I'll show grace or understanding to it is because I believe House Phone is a rapper as well.
House Phone's a rapper.
Yes, he makes music.
I didn't.
I'm not privy to the music. I've never listened to the music. I've never heard anyone playing the music, but I do know that rappers do throw shots at other rappers on social media. Yes.
Okay, now I did not know he was a rapper.
No, this is the rapper on rapper tweet. This is House Phone, the rapper, tweeting about Dom
Okay,
Kennedy, the
okay.
rapper.
Okay,
So this is a rapper versus rapper situation. That's why I won't be like super like, oh, fuck you, because I know that's how you rappers get down.
yeah,
Y'all will wake up off the dribble and just hate on another rapper because he getting more fans. He got more fans than you, or more successful than you as a rapper, so you'll just pop off. That's how rappers is. That's how I'm looking at it. I don't look
Okay.
at this as a media tweet.
This is not a-
I look at this as a House on a rapper tweet.
okay. Not that I just woke up today and I'm just gonna get on y'all just to get on y'all. It's like it's the camaraderie inside the rap.
The animosity.
The
The
animosity.
animosity is
So you saying the animosity would mean like
Mhm.
you try House Phone is not a successful rapper, or he's not as
as
successful,
Dom,
not as
and that's
successful.
a clear statement. That's
Right.
ever clear.
Right.
That means I don't have to argue. He's not as successful.
Well, I didn't even know he was a
as
rapper.
Dom. Yeah,
So-
he puts out music.
He puts out music, okay,
Yeah.
but to me,
Mhm.
there's a difference between what you do
Mhm.
and what that was.
Yeah,
There's
like I
a-
said, media versus rapper. I'm not a rapper.
And
Yeah.
is that a problem that we're having on the West Coast though? Like, why would the West Coast? Okay, I'm not even gonna get on that.
Mhm.
Is that a problem that the West Coast is having? It like not just we don't have to blindly support each
Mhm.
other, but we can blindly respect each other.
That's a great point, and I'll say it's like a bullet point on the if there was a agenda for the West Coast, for West Coast hip hop. That would be one of them. Is one, I want to encourage people to be more vocal and honest, and I do a great job of encouraging people to be more vocal and honest about the music, whether you're a
Right.
media or fan. Nothing wrong with constructive criticism and feedback. That tweet, however, that's why I said I got to look at it as a rapper tweet, because there was nothing objective or constructive about it, like a media person or a journalist would add to it. It was, I'm laughing at you guys for pretending to listen to Dom music when there are people who are really listening to Dom music clearly.
Yeah.
And that's nothing to laugh at. So there's no objectivity to the statement. There's no critique. There's nothing that Dom could read from that, or any artist could read from that and gain.
No gain. It's a wasteful tweet.
And that's
like you just getting something off your chest.
Yep, that's why I said that, like a rapper.
Like a rapper.
Like a rapper, yeah.
So maybe there is something behind the scenes, or maybe there is something, maybe possibility, who knows. But I'm tired of like West Coast on West Coast.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like
tearing each other down.
Because it's an uphill battle right now. Yeah. Without that.
Yeah, why not repost Dom's new album like I did, or like a lot of other people did? Why not repost it like, hey, did you, as media people too, because he is a media person.
Right.
Hey, did y'all check out Dom's new album? Don't laugh at people for listening to it. How about you encourage people to listen to it and then have conversations about that? You know, and again, I've only met House Phone once or twice. I met him my first visit to No Jumper, and saw him again at Rolling Loud, California, earlier this year. So I don't really know the gentleman, but I just saw the tweet, and you know how I feel about Dom, and you know I love content, hip hop, West Coast content. Right. So I threw it up on the timeline. I just asked people, "Do you agree with this?" And the
majority said no.
No, we don't. We do still listen to Dom. Does that mean we think everything Dom dropped nowadays is A+? No. But I'ma still listen to it. I'ma still play it and hear it out. And if you want to laugh at that,
right, then that's like, you want to laugh at that. But certain rappers have put in enough work to earn the respect of the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, like let me just hold on to that one. Let me hold on to that. If it's like you said, if it's a true constructive criticism, go for it.
Let's do it.
But you need to give your second thought of like your better thought process of like, come on, man.
That was one of the Meek Mill type tweets. Like when Meek Mill was from the West Coast, you know what I mean? That was one of the Meek Mill. That's a West Meek Mill type of tweet, because it's just like there was nothing to it. It was no substance to that tweet.
It was unnecessary.
Yeah. It was. We gained nothing from that.
Okay, so that I just wanted to talk about that because I wanted to get a little bit more insight. I wanted to see how you felt about that, because when I saw you post it, it caused an immediate reaction in like me, right?
Most people
like what the hell this fool talking about? Like
that's the comments right now. That's the comments
right now. Everybody's like, this dude's tripping.
Yeah, I don't love it just because of that. I love it because, again, it's West Coast hip-hop content. I didn't have to post no gang fight.
Nothing.
I didn't have to post no street politic. You feel me? I didn't have to post two girls in a project or a liquor store fighting or nothing like that. Like other pages, I could just post something about hip-hop and get people to talk about
engagement.
Yeah, I
get that engagement. Yeah. And you know what? Sometimes you there needs to be a little bit of hate so you can see all the love.
That's true.
Because it took a little bit of hate, and now you see all this love and support for Don Kennedy.
And that's good. I'm glad. I hope this adds to his rollout. I'll say that. I definitely hope this moment. I hope other platforms pick it up.
Right.
And it could be a bigger story, because I feel like that adds to his rollout. I don't see, outside of him dropping the 4 visuals with his album, I don't see too many other ancillary things for his rollout. So hopefully these type of conversations add to it.
So when you say 4 visuals, what do you mean? Like the videos?
He dropped 4 videos on Friday. So the album dropped Thursday evening. And Friday, once I got to work to do the Slink Johnson interview, he started dropping the video. So I waited till afterwards and I checked them out.
Okay, copy that. So what do you think can happen if you could give a critique to the West Coast or to Los Angeles in support of our West Coast artists?
Okay.
What would be some critiques? Like, it doesn't have to be 3, but whatever if you could change something, or give an opinion on how things could be better, what would you say, or what would you do differently?
Well, our fans got to support more.
Okay.
I definitely feel that. Black, Latino, Asian, all white. I definitely feel like we all definitely have to support the artists more, encourage the artists more. Artists, consider that. Be grateful for the support that you get and push for more. You get what I'm saying? So to me, it's just about applying pressure, being aggressive with this.
That's
I
almost
take-
like power. The power is with the people.
Yeah.
The power is with the people.
And
Like,
the artist, it's a mutual thing. Like you get what you give. So artists, you got to be going at 100% or the best of your capacity, and then the fans will match that hopefully. And if they not, it's up to people like me to encourage them to. Like, hey, did you hear this new XYZ? Did you hear this new XYZ? Go listen to it, check it out, let us know what you think. That's what media job is, kind of to shepherd them.
Yeah.
Into at least giving it a try. I can't make you like shit.
Yeah.
But I can encourage you to give the West Coast music a try, a spin, a listen. Yeah.
Are we getting that?
I feel like in certain pockets, not in the regime of which I grew up on. Like I said, I came through a wave of when I was coming up. When I was in high school, we had YG, Dom, Kendrick, TDE, Nipsey. It was like a whole Tiger. We had like a whole wave.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Just like when my parents was in high school, they had the Death Row and Pac and you feel me? They had a whole wave, Cube, and y'all had a wave. It wasn't sporadic.
No.
Like every 5 years, y'all get a dope classic album, or every 4 years, y'all get a dope classic album. Y'all was getting 2-3 classic albums a year.
To back, exactly.
And then you feel me? And that's just what I'm trying to push us back to. And I feel like West Coast artists have to get back to me. We make great albums, we make great mixtapes, we make great bodies of work, and everybody's just chasing that viral TikTok single. You feel me?
Yeah.
It's like that could be on an album, but you still should be able to make an album. Yeah.
Like, so the love, the skill, the love that goes into making an album is like I don't want to say lost, but has been more focused on that one big one.
Yeah.
Like, I just want that one big one to land and it to go crazy, and then we'll go from there.
I agree. It's like that's wrong. That's what people are doing. I agree that people are doing that, but that's, to me, for the West Coast, that's not the formula. That might be a formula that works down south, popping up off the single, but for West Coast, all of our greatest, I go off precedence. Mm-hmm. All of our greatest artists have classic debut albums,
right,
and classic subsequent albums afterwards.
Right.
You feel me? So it's like, that's not our formula. Our formula is to tell great stories from start to finish, put together concept albums. Even look at one of the biggest projects from the West Coast this year that had the highest first week for us, Schoolboy Q, Blue Lips.
Right.
The album is bigger than any song off the album. It's bigger than any single. Right. He didn't have a single driven year is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's having an album driven year. Everybody's talking about Blue Lips, not just talking about one song.
It's a piece of artwork.
A whole concept from start to finish. When I was on the Apollo, they were trying to tell me it's like a bona fide classic debut album. Everybody tried to say opinion. I feel like it's just a great stellar album. I wouldn't give it bona fide classic.
Classic, okay.
But stellar album. Like 4 stars out of 5 type album to me.
Okay.
And definitely he submitted to the Grammys, and my fingers are crossed because I definitely feel like he should win Best Rap Album for that.
Really?
Yeah, out of all the albums that came out before, when the cutoff, like September or something like that. Yeah.
I've said really, like, I was surprised that you said that, because I'm a believer of that too.
Yeah.
And I have like just taken so much faith out of the right thing happening. You know what I mean? Like, like, cause really, if that happened, that shit would be fucking amazing.
It would be amazing, but I'm not gonna lie. Like the Grammys having, even though they fucked up with Nipsey not winning Best Rap Album for Victory Lap, but they did give it to Kendrick for Mr. Morale. In 2020, last year's Grammy, he won Best Rap Album because it came out in 2022, and they gave it to Tyler, the Creator, for that Ghost album. So yeah,
like, but then you have the ones where, was it Kendrick that was looked over for the
Macklemore for Good Kid, Mad City, was it, or To Pimp a Butterfly? I think it was. I
don't know which one it was, but he definitely
should have won.
And
they gave it to Macklemore, which was crazy. Yeah,
Adele won. Over Beyonce
many times,
like, and it's just, but I like, so it's like certain things that have happened where I've just been like, you know what,
weary,
like I don't, and it's usually the shit I want to happen doesn't.
Okay,
you know, and it's like I don't know if they're gonna get it right.
At least give him his nomination. At least give him his nomination for Best Rap Album, because I mean, are they gonna give it to Future and Metro Boomin? Like, what other album that came out before like September would they give it to this year?
And it's so crazy because it's like 2 totally different albums.
Absolutely.
It's just like totally, and I don't want to say totally different genres, but just totally different outlook, totally different art to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the thought process behind it.
I think what was most refreshing about Blue Lips, which is why it's so stellar to me, is that for me, West Coast music has always kind of been funk derived, and then he was heavy into jazz, sampling and jazz derivative records.
And funk is what George Clinton, Boosie Collins.
Well, funk is jazz music. If you really know music, you know that funk is just what the 60s and 70s, that was their version of jazz, of the Harlem Renaissance 30s and 40s, 50s jazz. They were like, okay, no, but it's the same technique. If you really pay attention to funk music, it's the same technique as jazz. It's jazz with a little bit more like funk.
Yeah, let's get funky with that shit. Break that shit down now.
Yeah.
But so that was a big jazz element to that album.
Hella.
But that's the kind of shit that I respect for people to be like doing something different. You know what I mean? Like, and not being worried about the recession. But that's, you said people are focused on making a TikTok or a booming song, make that one.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like back in the day, you didn't choose for the people what was going to be good. The people chose what was the stellar shit on the album.
What was the single?
What was the
single? They
single?
told you. And they still should, and now it should be even easier because you got the data. On the computer or on your phone, you can see what they're streaming the most. With. And that's what we're going to push as the single XYZ, da-da-da-da-da. But for whatever reason, hip hop didn't start off album derived either, so I'm not going to sit up here and cap. Okay. But West Coast hip hop did. You get what I'm saying? West Coast hip hop brother was Too Short dropping, selling tapes. He wasn't selling just one song on them tapes. It was a whole mixtape he was selling, or Ice-T with Ryan Pace and Shredder Compton, or America's Most Wanted.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Or obviously Doggy Style, Chronic. You feel me? Mac 10's self-titled debut album, Dog Food. You know, Quick is the Name. You feel me? These are classic bodies of work.
Legendary.
You know what I'm saying? So West Coast, so hip hop, you know, it was single derived in the exception of hip hop. It wasn't about having an album. It was about pushing the singles. But West Coast hip hop was about pushing full bodies work.
Okay. So with that being said, the landscape is shifting. The landscape is changing in the way music is presented, where it's presented, where it's being played. YouTube has YouTube Music, YouTube TV. Like is the power of the radio station on the West Coast leaving, or has it been left? Has that shit sank?
They still have their power. They may not have influence. They don't have influence.
What happened?
But I don't want to get into all of that. It's deep. It's deep politics. Okay. That. So I will say that the power is still there, and by that I mean, if a LA artist or West Coast artist wants to get played on a station in southern markets, let's say Memphis. It's a radio station in Memphis. Say a LA artist fly out to Memphis and try to get a DJ to play their record or a programmer to program their record out there. Okay, they're gonna go to BDS Spins. They're going to pull up, that's the database for all the records, radio play. Okay. They're going to go see how many times your record is being played on the West Coast. Oh, they're not playing your shit where you from. So why would I play it out here?
Whoa.
So that's what I mean by power. So if you don't start these artists off out here, right, then it's less likely that they get played in other regions. You have to play them there first. These artists that pop off get played in their hometown. That's what I'm saying. The artists that pop out in different regions get played in their hometown. Our artists don't get played in our hometown, so there's no data to support me wanting to support you.
There's no reason, there's no justification for me playing your shit unless you paying me some fucking money.
Yeah, there's no inclination. There's no further inclination because where is it coming from? Right. I don't see you're not played in your clubs when I go out there to your city in LA. They're not playing you in the club, and they're not playing you on the radio. So why should I play you if I'm in Memphis or I'm in Atlanta or I'm in Charlotte or I'm in Houston? Why would I be playing your record?
So the reason why West Coast is not, this is what I'm just gathering from it.
Yep.
Is because West Coast is not supporting the West Coast.
Yeah.
We're not pushing our own shit. So people are like, nigga, you don't even mess with your own stuff. Why I'm gonna mess with it? Yeah. Like you don't even vibe to your shit. Why
you won't give it a chance. So why would I give it a chance? You know what I'm saying? You gotta take care of home first.
So okay, let's go to there then. So why are they not supporting home?
Well, that's why I did the report card, encouraging our artists to step it up. That way, there's no excuse.
Okay.
So if I'm checking all these boxes off, meaning my lyrics are right, my cadence is right, my flow is right, my music videos is right, I got my consistency up, I'm dropped in often enough, my branding is up, my versatility is up, my originality is up, then there's no reason why the radio or club DJs or tastemakers or playlisters should not be giving you an opportunity or not putting you on, because you checked off all the boxes.
All the boxes.
And that's the reason I did the report card.
So
To encourage, to give them no excuse. If you perform,
This is what you need. This is what you got to work on. It's like, these are the critiques that you're being judged on. And this is what you need to be strong at so that you can be here. So if that is done, say they check all the boxes. And they still don't get on the fucking radio.
Then bias. That's when you can say bias. But you can't say that until you performing at your true capacity.
Okay.
Until you checking off all them boxes, because then the DJ can be like, oh, well, the bars is weak on this song, or oh, the beat selection is off, or you feel me, I ain't seen no video to it, or oh, your brand is off, I ain't never heard of you. You ain't got no type of buzz. But if you check off all them boxes and they still not playing your shit, that's when I would take it to some gangster shit.
Right. Because now it's like, okay, there's nothing I can do.
Now it's personal.
Now it's gatekeeping.
Now it's gatekeeping. Now you trying to fuck with me, or you trying to keep me down, XYZ. That's when you get to the Snoop Dogg, y'all don't love us type shit. That's when it gets to that.
So in honest opinion, unbiased opinion, honest opinion, we need all those boxes to be checked so that we can say there's some bias going on here. Do you, without those boxes being checked right now, today, do you believe that there are bias that exist right now on the West Coast?
There's clearly a West Coast bias, an anti-West Coast bias.
From the West Coast. I'm talking about the West Coast.
Oh, you talking about from the West Coast?
From the West Coast. Like, why are we not? Yeah. Okay.
But that's because of, that could be part of like gang politics or type of division, as well as, and this is something people really don't account for, women. So let me break down both points.
Okay.
I'll start with the gang politics. Well, both of them are ancillary, hand in hand.
Okay.
Meaning, I put out, this is my 5th year doing the LA freshman cover, right? We did it with Pro Club this year. If I had put out 5 consecutive Atlanta freshman covers, if you go to T.I. Instagram, he would have reposted it, or Jeezy or Gucci, or da-da-da-da-da. This is my 5th one. I've never had a big LA artist.
I reposted
staple,
it.
Absolutely.
I reposted
AD, T-Rail, everybody in-house. But I've never had a big staple LA artist repost the freshman cover. And so I'm thinking like, okay, that might be because some of the artists on here are affiliated. Maybe they're affiliated with a gang that you aren't too fond of, or XYZ. That's the gang element to it. Then you also have the women. What if one of these artists is dealing with a woman you might be dealing with? Or what if you don't want one of these artists to get in a position, because now they can come deal with the type of woman you deal with. And so let's just take the LA freshman cover out of it. That's any success piece out here. Anything that's successful out here, you have to worry about, they don't want you to have it because you're from a gang they're not too fond of, or they don't want you to have it because they don't want you dealing with their woman.
Right. So that's a plain example of
in-house West Coast bias. We don't support each other. I feel like these artists, these producers, these DJs, these individuals don't support each other because of gang politics and because of dick and pussy politics.
Do you have you experienced or seen example, like a witness to that, where that is like clearly the issue?
You look at just a few weeks ago, it had went viral when X4 DM'd me like, what you over there with them niggas for? You didn't see that?
No.
Oh, yeah. So X4, who was on my 2023 LA
I got an example for your ass right now.
He's on, absolutely. He was on my LA Freshman cover last year.
Okay.
And so he just randomly DM'd me one day. I guess I had posted like my Back on Fig interview or something.
Okay. And
he randomly DM'd me one day and was like, what you over there with them niggas for?
Really?
And I'm like, I mean, it's better than working for a culture vulture. He was like, for sure, bet. Then I asked him, I was like, you mind if I, post these DMs? And he was like, yeah, do your thing. And I posted on the timeline and had the conversation with the timeline just about that mindset.
Yeah.
So because somebody who's still black, y'all all black, but because they from a different side of the track, a different section or whatnot, it's like, I'm not supposed to go over there, or you don't want to see.
And you're not
me.
affiliated at all, like, and you still can't. Like, nah, nigga, you my homie.
Yeah, like, yeah, right. It's
I
like,
fuck with you. You can't fuck with them.
hey, man.
Like, damn.
So that's an example of how gang politics can hinder business.
Damn.
Or hinder the progress.
And that was in
of
its
music.
raw. That was in its raw nature right there too.
The rawest of nature's pause. Yeah. Just a real DM from him. And again, I asked him, could I post it? But I just wanted to show that mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Not to even taking it off of X4. Just show that, because that type of stuff happen all the time. Where it's like the gang politics is relevant in the music scene. And to me, it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. And but really, it's being bigger than everybody thinking they're bigger than the program.
Yeah.
Like your bias or your opinion or your thought or your dislike is bigger than the whole program succeeding. Yeah. Because guess what? If X4 is in a position, this is how it should be, like, damn, he's putting light on the West Coast.
Yeah.
He's putting attention on the West Coast, like this and that. Maybe some of his little homies, or maybe then one of his homies on my niggas. This, like, one puts on for the other.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you want me over there? I talk about hip hop, so I'm gonna go on back on Fig. I'm gonna be at Figgmunity talking about hip hop.
I'm over here because I'm about to talk about you.
Yeah, because we talk about your records when you drop it. Yeah. Like, go check out that new X4.
Oh, you mean while I'm over here giving you an opportunity?
Well, just promoting and talking about your music. Yeah,
I'm giving, but you being the vessel of music, of hip hop, of rap on the West Coast. Like, nigga, you should want me on every platform.
As many as I could get on. Absolutely.
You should want me everywhere.
Yeah.
Because guess what? If your shit is rocking, guess who's going to talk about it?
Right.
You.
Yeah, that part.
And so this is what I was touching on, the shift and the change in the way things are happening, because I kind of feel like radio is shitting on us.
What you mean?
I'm just like, I don't feel like they're playing any of the people that we fuck with or the people that we represent or that we think is tight in the manner that used to be when I was a kid.
No, they give them a mix show play.
A mix show
New
play.
at 2. We'll spin that, and that's one time on Tuesday you got played. New at 2.
New at 2.
You screen record that, and that's that.
That's that. And I think that there definitely can be more energy put into us. And I would say that I see, like, they are doing a little bit more. It's big, but it took people to call it out. You know what I mean? Like,
whole protest. We had a whole protest August 2022 at Power 106 just to get these things done, and not one LA rapper showed up to get their music played on the radio.
See, that's the other thing.
You get what I'm saying? They don't even care. Like, that's one thing I always said. Like, damn, I spoke up and sacrificed so much in my career for individuals that didn't care enough to speak up for themselves. I don't make records.
Right. Like that, and that was a lesson I learned at a young age, was you can't help nobody that want to help themselves. Yeah. And you can look at maybe them at the radio station like, nigga, you down there protest, these niggas ain't even here.
Yeah.
They not even fighting for themselves. What you fighting for?
Yeah, and again, I learned that.
You might go over to R&B, nigga.
And I said that when I went to the Apollo a couple of weeks ago. I said on my way up there, I had a revelation. I was driving. I didn't listen to music in the car. I was driving up to the Apollo, and I said, Dejon, is the West Coast ever going to really come back? And I said, Dejon, have you ever asked the West Coast, does it want to come back?
Right.
And I haven't. I never took time to sit down and really ask, do y'all care about this? Do y'all really even want to make a comeback? Because the actions don't show that, and actions speak louder than words. And if you really want something, you're going to go after it. And I'm going to see you apply pressure. So at this point in my life, my career right now, I'm thinking like, does the West Coast even want to make a comeback? Does it want to be in the position it was before?
So, yeah, what was your answer?
I'm still assessing that, but it's leaning towards no.
No.
It's really strongly leaning towards no. And I heard Pun say, he said he was talking to Keem on What Could Go Wrong, which is one of my favorite podcasts right now.
Mine too. I
love What Could Go Wrong. Pun was saying, he asked him, I forgot what the topic was. Oh, something about T-Rail's, like one of his, how T-Rail act. He was like, can you make a leaning tree grow straight? And Pun asked Keem that, and Keem was like, no, I don't think you can.
You can.
You can't make a leaning tree. If a tree is growing, it's
leaning, going to grow towards the direction of the sun. So if you direct the light in No, you can't. You can't. Naturally, no.
Okay.
Naturally, no. But
Naturally,
you can.
no. But there is a way.
Yeah.
Okay, well, see, maybe that's what West Coast hip hop needs. So naturally, no, but there is a way. It's a little do-hit way that you, if you with some trickery.
Because if you have a plant or something growing in your house, it's naturally going to try to grow towards where the light is,
true.
so they can get more sunlight. And you'll see trees, they grow in the direction that they get hit with the most sunlight.
The sun. Okay. So if you put a light on it in this way, it'll start growing
that way. You know
okay.
I mean?
So if you put a light on the West Coast in this way.
So look, this is reality check with Rios. So look.
Yeah, I'm putting light on it in a different way than people before me. Yeah.
So the light was on West Coast because we boxed ourselves into this gangster rap, and that this was how you have to rap to sound West Coast.
Yeah.
So now we're trying to restructure to try to a new identity, really. You know what I mean? Like, do we need an identity? Or do we need to put light on the fact that West Coast has so many different, it's so many different, you can't box us in. There is no West Coast.
But then that would be the identity. The identity will be a versatile one.
Ain't versatile better than
nothing? Yeah, versatile is better, or being stagnant. Yeah, people talk to me about the LA sound. I told you guys this on Ace Boys. I said, to me, the LA sound, it don't have to be G-Funk, it don't have to be Ratchet, it don't have to be the Draco Traffic sound. To me, as long as it's narrative, as long as it's telling a story, as long as it's cinematic. Again, this is Hollywood is out here. LA is about movies, film. So if you could put that on wax, if you can make a movie on wax, to me, that's the LA sound.
That's the LA sound.
Yeah.
And so I almost at the point where I think we have to move away from sound and just being like, nigga, this nigga's from LA.
Okay.
He's from Cali. This is a Cali artist. Yeah. Because I think people have moved away from basing people where they're from because we have so fucking many.
Oh, yeah, we do.
We have so many that we would be unstoppable if we just let it be known like, nah, this is a representation.
Yeah, this is our artist. Yeah. But see, our artists also got to claim us because you look at it like people didn't even know Doja Cat's from West Coast. She's from Tarzana. Okay. Which is technically LA County. Yeah. That's why she's on the LA Rap Report card. She doesn't like necessarily affiliate or do too many records with West Coast artists. I want to see Tyler, the Creator, do more work with LA artists. I understand his gripe because it's like LA has shitted on him for so many years. But I would just ask that one day he finds it in his heart to look past that gripe, be forgiven of that gripe, because I understand it. I definitely relate to it. And just, there's still some dope, talented, upcoming artists in LA that could really use a Tyler, the Creator feature or collaboration. That's what I'm saying.
Tyler, Creator, Doja Cat, those are the kind of artists that are life-changing.
Right. And I see why they do distance themselves from it, because they get so much hate and flack, and it's like the city disassociate itself with them. They call them weirdos and XYZ. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like there are some upcoming artists that I know if they had a Doja Cat, think of all the upcoming LA female rappers that if they could just get a hook from Doja Cat, or you feel me, the guys that could just get a verse from Tyler, the Creator, and level up their whole career. Hopefully we see that next year. We see them type of artists, them caliber of LA artists tap in with the soil.
That would be dope. Yeah. That would be dope if for that to happen. Yeah. But I think, like you said, it's many layers to this. This is like surface, and then there's like, you have to want it more than we want it for you. You have to be able to want to be able to get along with. That's why the Pop Out concert was so dope.
It was beautiful.
You know what I mean? Like, it really, it was a beautiful thing. But the reason why it was beautiful, because something so basic as just motherfuckers getting along on stage is a rarity for us.
Yeah, it was crazy to see.
It shouldn't be that big of a thing.
It was monumental.
It was monumental because of how we operate.
Absolutely. See all those artists. Now I just want to see them do records together and do more records together. That's the next step. But it was great to see that moment, that optic, for the world to see the West Coast rappers like that. I wish the clown dancers wasn't there, but that's just me being Dejon Paul.
Why?
It was a moment for people to take us serious. This is 23 million people watching us. I don't feel like the clown dancing element. It's about one thing I'm learning is that a lot of people out here lack taste. And that's also why the rap scene is where it's at. You have to be tasteful, whether it's predicted trends or setting trends. And I just feel like even in all the music videos, I always see like the clown dancers and stuff like that. And I just feel like that's kind of like stagnant and dusty. and it's like, let's present a more serious. We want people to take us serious at this point, right? So why do we have like clowns dancing in our?
I'm not gonna call it. I'm not gonna call it dust.
To me, in my opinion, that's dusty. When I see the music videos and they got the clown dancers all in it and stuff like that, I'm like, okay, yeah, this not traveling past New Mexico. This not making it past, Arizona, New Mexico.
But people at one time thought Crip walking probably wasn't gonna make it past L.A. but now Crip walking is everywhere.
Yeah. Clown dancing is I would assume is everywhere, but is that it's just not a serious enough optic for me, because it's like you have these. I'm looking at y'all like superstars.
Right.
That's how. Again, this is how I see the LA artists as potential superstars, and as actual superstars on stage. So then when I see like clowns running around in the midst,
they dressed as clowns
with paint on their face and stuff, and actual clowns, and Tommy the Clown, with verbiage with a clown wig and nose on. To me, that wouldn't have been my invite for this. I'm thinking strategic.
Yeah.
I'm thinking so that, okay, maybe that type of shit might hinder us for another year or two. That's just something small, slight detail like that. That's the type of strategy I'm talking about.
I agree with you.
You have to be meticulous.
I agree with you to a point.
Yeah.
But I'm going to play devil's advocate here.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kendrick didn't do that shit for the world.
Mm-hmm.
He did the pop out for LA.
Okay.
That wasn't for the world. That wasn't the platform. He wasn't giving that's why he was sending tickets back to people from outside LA.
Okay.
Like, nigga, this is about us. This is about ice cream trucks, sunflower seeds, music, summertime. And so I think it was more so representative of us to us. Like, this is what we are. And if the world wants to see, they can see, they can watch, they could have a look into what we do. Tommy the Clown is almost at every hood baby's birthday.
Absolutely.
And he's a big part of...
That was not a hood baby's birthday. It was a pop out. And I get what you're saying. And this is something that Illa always reminds me of. Like, Dejon, you have to think of these artists' intention. Not just what you got thinking going on, what their intention.
You're thinking about that was a great opportunity.
That's how I think. Because again, I'm focused on the West Coast coming back. I'm not focusing on making people smile and stuff like that. So the job's not finished. Right. So the goalpost is making the West Coast come back. What is more conducive towards making the West Coast come back? That's every decision should, to me, revolve around that. So it's like having 23 million people watch 30 of our rappers dance on stage with clowns, or having 23 million people watch our rappers look like superstars and be took serious for once and present a new regime of West Coast hip hop. I don't think you present a new regime of West Coast hip hop with clown dancers on the stage. That's not how you present that.
Do you think that he did represent a regime though of West Coast rap? Or would you have, okay, let's do this. Let's critique the pop out.
Yeah, I dropped the pop out report card.
So who would you have not had on the stage?
The clown dancers. I would have had RJ performed during Mustard's set. Okay. That would have been imperative because he comes from the Mustard era, Mustard camp. So him performing on another DJ's set to me was awkward. I would have had a moment of silence and paid tribute to Draco. Okay. During the performance so that his fans could feel included, because he does have a huge fan base that I felt disrespected by that. And so they walked away from the pop out, taking that bias out on other upcoming
So that's the actual thing. People actually felt that way? Yeah,
a lot of his fans. And again, he has a great amount of fans that refuse to support, stream in any way other upcoming LA rappers due to the bias shown. So that was an opportunity to me to solve it. Again, I'm solution driven. I'm trying to get this shit clicking. So I don't have time for the feelings and the emotion of it. You put Nipsey up on the screen, long live Nipsey, play the Nipsey song, 10, 15 seconds, long live Draco. So that of the 20,000 people in the forum, or the 23 million people watching, there's Draco fans that would appreciate that moment. And now that might take away some of that bias they have against some of the other performers.
Exactly. So really, have you thought about being a consultant for like these ideas, these big ideas, like, because maybe there are a lot of missed fucking opportunities.
Absolutely. Because I'm a meticulous person. I feel like there are a lot of pockets that or missed out on. I do consulting work.
Okay.
Behind the scenes and offer managerial consulting. Again, you do have to pay my retainer.
Right.
There have been incidents recently where different artists who couldn't afford my retainer felt a certain way, and I feel like my prices are low. I feel like I'm selling myself short.
Are feasible. Like I'm making myself accessible and feasible.
Yeah. But even if, say, you don't have any money and you can't afford them services, I do a LA rap workshop every week and have been doing it since 2021.
Okay.
LA rap workshop on Twitter Spaces every week. We do it on Sundays. Used to do it on Tuesdays. And that's us talking for sometimes 2 hours about specific topics based off a post I made years ago called 21 Tips for LA Rappers, which is still on my page in my highlights. So there are free resources I provide that could be just as helpful as me sitting down with you and working with you. And if you have any questions, you can just hop in the LA Rap Workshop on a Sunday morning. Me and Miss Jada Stokes, we answer y'all questions. There's different rappers in there. You might see Mustard in there. You might see Jason Cash in there, Airplane.
I've been hearing his name a lot.
Jason Cash.
Yeah, I've been hearing his name a lot. Jason Martin Problem just dropped a song with Zoe.
Sama.
I'm sorry.
I hate everybody do say that Zoe shit.
I be messing up a lot of people's names. Zoe Sama, and there was another.
Compton AV on that record. Compton AV. Yeah, that's out. That just came out this week.
Yeah, so I'm like, I kind of like feel like an energy. You know what I mean? Like coming, that's growing. But with that being said, do artists? Because I've seen a lot of people saying like, getting mad about your rap report cards or getting mad about their grades or whatever. Has anybody been thankful and appreciative for the constructive criticism? Have you gotten any artists to say, hey, yo, y'all did the shit that you was talking about? I did that shit. And guess what? The outcome was way better.
Hella.
Really?
Hella. It's more love than hate, believe it or not. This year. It didn't start off like that.
Yeah. He was like, who is this nigga, man?
Yeah, this the third one.
Who's this little nigga giving me?
Right, this the third one. But this year it was way more love than hate. Even like initial reactions like Zol Sama, like he want higher scores, but he appreciate the critique. Or G Perico saying like he don't even give a fuck what the grade is as long as he on there. Oh, you feel me? Like that type of stuff.
The recognition, just being
that those type of statements definitely help out and just positive. A lot of people behind the scenes reach out and just thank me for what I'm doing. Whether it's A&Rs, execs, or rappers themselves, people have me pull up to the studio and really want my opinion, or send me records want my opinion. That's flattering. That means something. That people care what I think about their music. That people will have me pull up and listen to their whole project and grade it before it even comes out and let them know what they can change and then go back and make the changes and stuff like that. It's great, and it keeps me going because, to be honest, when I'm not working, I don't feel well.
Okay.
So
wait. Go. What do you mean?
I don't feel well when I'm not working. I have like real bad anxiety, and I just don't feel well. I don't like being idle. I love to work. Okay. You got what I'm saying? So like right now I'm on camera 5-6 times a week. And even if I'm chilling with my friends or something like that, I'm gonna pull out my phone and I'm gonna make a meme. I'm gonna play some music and start reviewing it and grading it. And it's always somebody I could grade. There's always something I can do. I don't feel well just being idle like that.
I don't like that.
Me either. It's not a comfortable feeling. Why can't I just chill and relax?
So I love that you're so productive. I love that you're so productive and you're getting work done, but I don't love that you're not prioritizing yourself.
That's how I feel. I feel like I'm not.
So try one day or try just on Sunday. I'm going to do 2 hours to Dejon, because you don't want to run until the wheels fall off. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to run yourself, because the thing is, I've dealt with anxiety. I've dealt with depression, PTSD, ADHD, all these things, right? Okay. And the thing is, we'll keep ourselves busy to avoid it. Yeah, and then there's going to come a moment where you haven't dealt with none of the shit, and then it's going to hit you. It's going to be a panic attack. It's going to be a this and that, because we're not giving ourselves time to be imperfect. Yeah. Like, we all got shit wrong with us. Yeah, it's kind of hard dealing with myself sometimes. But guess what? Deal with yourself. Yeah. Because you don't want that shit to pile up. And then it gets to a point of a breaking point, and then it hurts your career. It hurts what you're doing. Yeah. Because it comes out in different avenues.
You're right. You're 100% right. And people do tell me that like you need to just take some time for yourself. I would love to see you take like 3 to 6 months just to focus on yourself. I've had people tell me that, but it's just like
because
right
they don't.
now, to me, right now it's the moment, and it's like it'd be different if I was older. I'm still in my 20s,
Yeah.
so it's like this is kind of when you can afford to like deprioritize yourself and really go after the bag and focus on business XYZ. But I do need the 2 hour. I'm open to suggestion. 2 hours on Sundays, Dejon time. Cut the phone off. No West Coast hip hop. Just Dejon.
You could listen to some fucking meditation shit, or you could just go to the beach, go for a walk, and just talking to the universe, praying. But the thing is, people are always like, "Oh, you need 6 months. You need 3 months." No, you need an hour before bed and an hour when you wake up. Yeah. To thank God in the morning. Thank you for waking me up, giving me this opportunity to do what I love in life. Yeah. Thank you, God, like for having me and blessing me to be here to do what I freaking love, this passion of mine. And then before you go to bed, take time to think about what do you appreciate about yourself. It ain't taking 3 months, 6 months off. Yeah. You could give that shit to yourself 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour at night.
Reflections. I like that. I'm going to start applying that. Definitely. I feel like it'll help me.
Because your shit's taking off.
Thank you.
You're going to end up having less time.
Even less time than I have now. That's
You're going
crazy.
to end up having less time. Yeah. And you already don't have enough time for yourself because you haven't carved out time for yourself now. This shit's about to get busier.
That's true. So I definitely got to start taking an hour.
You got to train yourself.
To be disciplined enough to take an hour, wake up early, take that hour in the morning to focus on myself and God, and the same thing in the evening.
Even if it's a walk. Mm-hmm. Get quick breakfast and just walk or do something, and it's just for you.
Me time.
You time. And nobody can take it from you.
Yeah, I agree with that, especially since I ain't got no kids or nothing like that. Yeah, there's no excuses.
I think
when I wake up,
right to it.
Oh, I get
you get your phone.
Get my phone.
Right on your phone.
Get my coffee or Red Bull, and I get right to work. Laptop, phone, iPad. You feel me? I get right to work, and because I know I'm gonna be on somebody's camera that day, or I'm starting to put my outfit together, XYZ. I know I'm gonna be on somebody's camera. I'm gonna be sitting somewhere talking about hip hop, and then I'm listening to music, which is still work because I'm not listening to it to enjoy it. Right. I'm listening to it to critique it.
What is this? I've seen you do it with Auntie. Yeah. Like even like in the studio, I thought you were just gonna be like in your head what was going. Like she was like, "Judge my thing," and you on your phone like
notes. Yeah.
Writing that shit down, like, no, I'm serious about what I do.
I don't play, and it's not fair because life not fair, but it's not fair because I would love to be able to just sit down and enjoy some music, but that's not how my brain works. I hear like what could be better in every song. Every song I hear, I'd be like, unless it's perfect, you feel me? Unless it's perfect, I'd be like, oh no, they could have said this like this. Oh no, I would have had to redo that bar. They need to turn this up on the beat. They need to mix the beat. It's just, I don't know what it is. It's just something that click off with every rap record I hear. You're
a technician. You wired that way. You found the lane that you're passionate about.
That's true.
Like Elon Musk is like that about his shit. You know what I mean? Like they call him crazy. You crazy.
I was about to say I'm crazy then. If I'm compared to Elon Musk, I must be crazy because he's going crazy with the robots and all that shit. So yeah.
So you said what artists have you or that you've dealt with or that you listen to that is most aligned with like, damn, I could barely critique this motherfucker on a consistent basis?
R&B wise is gonna be Faith Evans.
Okay.
That's why I like her music. She's a genius arranger. I rarely have to so when I listen to especially R&B music, I can always change the arrangement or change the harmony up in a way that I find better. When I listen to her music, I don't have to change nothing. And I just singing. Drake is the same way. When Drake sing and he's melodic, it is rare. It might be 1 or 2 Drake songs where if I'm singing along, I won't change the arrangement.
So can you sing?
No, but I know the note and I got that. You've heard me sing.
What is it called? I don't have an ear for music. Okay. What is that called? Is that what it's called? An ear for music?
Having an ear for music, yeah. But also I feel like I have I think it's synesthesia or something like that. As in when I hear music, I see colors.
Okay.
Every song I hear, I see a certain color to it. And that's like a real thing for certain music people. Like music relates to something in your brain and it just makes you see like a euphoric color, but it's different colors for each sound.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's actually really dope though. Like that. that art can generate that in your head to make
and vice versa.
Right.
Yeah.
So you do R&B.
Oh, I listen to a lot of R&B. I listen to a lot of blues. I listen to a lot of jazz.
But you don't critique it?
I've done an LA R&B report card.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see that because I like
purple.
I don't really listen to that much rap.
Oh, really?
Because I don't like the energy it gives me.
Yeah, it's a lot of negative energy in it. But R&B don't have the same energy that it used to have either. It lacked the church element, the soul element of it. It's just it sometimes it lacked the blues. A lot of times it just be rhythm. So R&B has some work to do too. That's why I dropped the LA R&B report card last year, and I'll drop another one. I drop it in the fall actually when it's more cold and R&B friendly. You know what I'm saying? Versus in the summer when you do want to hear some turned up hip hop.
Wait, you gave me the answer for R&B. What about rapper? Like that?
I said when Drake is melodic.
Singing.
When Drake is melodic, but you like a rapper that
is like the most consistent, like that gets the least.
Nipsey was that for me. Musically, it's rare that I would want him to change his rhyming pattern. He got it. Even my critique for Victory Lap is that it's like it was missing out one lady record. That's my only critique of Victory.
Like him speaking to women, or him speaking to Lauren or something, like a love,
like a love song. Because like Crenshaw had Come Over, or Mailbox when he had Between Us. You get what I'm saying? So it was, to me, it was kind of missing that one seamless lady friendly record.
Damn.
Yeah.
But Nipsey was so Nipsey though. Like, and that might
his
be
voice
it too.
cut
Like
through.
he was just so Nipsey. Like he was through and through. He was him.
Authentic, but also he was dedicated to serving his fan base, and he cared about what the listener was hearing. And my favorite thing about him was how his voice pierced through the beat, regardless of like. It was a certain microphone that he wanted to use all the time, but also the way he delivered his vocal, it's like it wasn't under the beat, it wasn't over the beat, it cut through the beat.
Ooh.
And I like that because it matched a lot of the violence in his rhymes and just the street brute and persona he had. His vocals matched it. Like he sound like the gangster he was rapping about.
Right.
And I feel like sometimes it'd be a disconnect there too.
So I'm just going to, because I got a couple questions I want to ask you that are just from my own curiosity.
Sure.
Right. TF.
Yeah.
I love his album.
Yeah.
Like, and it connects with me with my upbringing where I'm like how I was raised, the kind of music I listened to, and even the 4 tracks that he just released. Like, I feel like TF is on one right now. But why is he not getting not necessarily the support? Why is it not all over the place?
Okay, I spoke to this when I graded his music video. You know, I do the Rob Porcroft podcast, and a music video pop up on the screen.
Oh, okay.
So when we was grading the one with Rucci, Lord, I'm forgetting the song at this very moment. But he has a song. I'm a dog with Rucci. And so they have the house party scene, and it looked like a lit ass day. They got the females, the pool, cooking tacos, all of that stuff. It looked lit. As I was explaining, I'm sure I explained it over there a little better, but I said that this sound only works if you go pop with it. Because
what does that mean?
Meaning everything has to be perfect. So the video quality, this style, when you make that type of G-Funk derived music, the only way that works is if it looks polished and it's peak, like a Larry June. He makes that old school funk derived sound work, but look at his visuals, crisp, ever clear. All the merch, the presentation, the detail. That's the nuance of it. That's the way you add something new to it. So you have to, when you make that style of music,
the delivery of the complete package,
the product management. So if TF had a product manager to make sure everything's on 10,
because I can't understand why this shit ain't.
Yeah, unfortunately, for whatever reason, that sound has so much bias stacked against it. Maybe because we've been hearing it for so fucking long. And that style, you have to. The only way to me it works is if you bring forth everything on 10. Meaning the visual quality wasn't a 10. It was like a 7, or 8. Got to be on 10, or you feel me? Just even the things going on in the house party. It was too typical. It looked lit, but it was too typical. You got to find ways to turn them moments into art. So
each moment a viral moment. Each moment
a viral. eye-catching moments. So these women in the pool, no, what are the women doing in the pool? I would have had them doing something quirky or moving a certain way, a certain pattern going on. You give them some different scenes going on in that house party. I would have turned it into a full house party, not just a house party scene.
Right.
So and that's just, those are tangible examples of what a G-Funk derived artist on the West Coast could do to step up their game.
So so I'll say this. So you consider him a G-Funk
derived artist.
Those last 4 songs, I would say so.
Yeah, but no, I've heard him over Boom Bap. I love Scandalous Levels with 211. Okay. He's just a gangster rapper. Yeah. But the I'm a Dog is a G-Funk derived record. Clearly.
Right.
Even the sample. Yeah. Right. So yeah, but I've heard him over Boom Bap. I've seen him go to the East Coast to do, I think he was on Jimmy Fallon or one of the platforms. And he's with Gibbs and he can, but that's ain't nothing new under the sun. Ice Cube went and got with Chuck D from Public Enemy and Bomb Squad and made his debut on America's Most Wanted in '89. So West Coast rappers can always get over them type of beats.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, not everybody's doing it. And
not everybody. But
and I only see, like, really is really got my attention because I don't see anybody else doing it.
Yeah.
Like, and I see TF doing that shit, bouncing back and forth between different, not genres, but different circles.
Right.
And his lyricism, his delivery, or whatever, is carrying over to the other areas. And it was I was just curious, like, why the fuck is this nigga not being represented more, or more motherfuckers ain't talking about him? Because
I would just say be more meticulous, having that product manager there to make sure everything is on 10 for TF. I feel like that'll level his game up.
Yeah, you're right. Because sometimes you could be at 8.
Yep.
And you just need something that has nothing to do with your rapping.
Nothing
to do with
ancillary.
Ancillaries.
It's all about the ancillaries for a lot of people. A lot of people, they right there, like on the cusp of it. And all they need is another smart person in the room with them that cares enough.
Right.
A Dame Dash.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Or somebody like that who cares, because Jay-Z talent was right there.
You're right.
But he couldn't get over. And then it took a Dame Dash, somebody who cares enough and smart enough to make it click. Like, no, we just need to position you here and have it like
That's
this.
funny because he's with Rock.
Yeah. So, you got
Hey, so that's good. And so this is the last artist I'm going to bring up that because these are just only my own curiosities, just walking through life. What happened to Roddy Ricch?
Oh man, I had I have a dope relationship with his his mentor, Bird. Shout out to Bird. But these are conversations I've been having to have recently, even online. It's just like, I personally feel like it's karmic what happened to Roddy Ricch.
So karma?
Not in the most serious, I'm dramatic.
No.
But karmic still, nonetheless, because I feel like you got on, you go diamond. You get what I'm saying? You this big mega star once you go diamond. Put on that West Coast sound. It's like, we've heard you try to do the Gunna, we've heard you do the Gunna Young Thug flow and succeed with it and win. So now that you have the win, come back home and give the people the Compton sound. Compton has a certain pain to it. Compton has a certain hunger to it. It's really the greatest city in hip hop history.
Right.
If you really pay attention, the albums that have come out of Compton specifically,
Long Beach
it's
Long
Beach for sure, but Compton and Brooklyn. No, Long Beach for sure. You get Doggy Side of that, but when you talk about Compton, My Crazy Life, Good Kid, Mad City.
No, it's
Easy
really
Does It, The Chronic.
There's no
the documentary.
There's no comparison. Compton really is it.
Yeah.
But is that so?
Those projects sound like Compton.
They sound like Compton.
Those projects sound like Compton. Roddy Ricch, when he made that sophomore album, Live Life Fast, and I was hoping that he would bring it back to Compton. Because, okay, I had to sound like an Atlanta artist to get on. Cool, you did that. You got on, you sold the 10 million records, Now you on. So why not give the people that Compton sound the same way Kendrick did, the same way YG did?
Same way white people do.
What you mean?
Post Malone.
Oh, yeah.
Is Iggy Azalea, they will use whatever is relevant to get them relevant, and as soon as they pop, they go back to
what they was doing. That's what you mean. Okay, I agree with that. Absolutely, that's what Roddy Ricch need to do, and I feel like Hit Boy said it. He said it on academic. Well, he kind of said it his own way on Academics podcast. He said, I gave Roddy Ricch his only Grammy. His only Grammy win is with me. Hit Boy did Rocks in the Middle.
Oh,
with
he
Nipsey,
never went back to him.
And I never worked with you again. You get what I'm saying?
Shit, yeah.
But Get Rocks in the Middle was a West Coast record. That's what I mean by Roddy Ricch making a West Coast record. That pain, that brute, that story, not to mention that groovy bass bottom that the record had. Doom, 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 doom.
Yeah.
Doom, 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 doom. Underneath the whole Rocks in the Middle, that's playing. That's not the Chronic. That's not Dre. Doom, 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 doom.
Yeah.
Driving the whole record.
Yeah,
the whole bottom
exactly.
of the record is that, and then you singing over it. That's not Nate Dogg singing over Dr. Dre beat.
Right. But
So
you
bring
never
that
went back to it.
You never went back, so you never gave us an album of that. But
What's
that's
the
your
insight
only
on that?
Grammy.
Do you have some insight on that?
No, that's just what Hit Boy said. Hit Boy said, like, why didn't he posed to say, Hit Boy don't even know. He said, I gave you your only Grammy and we never worked together again. That's the shit I be talking about. And I'm like, ain't nothing more LA rapper than that. To win a Grammy with a nigga and then you never
fucked with him again.
That's LA rapper shit.
Maybe the nigga was like, I'm trying to, and this is just me.
we would never know.
This is just me.
Yeah.
Like the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick. I could go get me a Super Bowl ring without you. I don't need you for my success. You're not my success. And maybe he went, or Kyrie Irving trying to leave LeBron. Like, nigga, I could go be successful without you. And then they never come back to it.
Well, see, that's how I felt about YG and Mustard. That's how I felt about Dom Kennedy and Cardo. I feel like, to me, nah. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what I'm saying? Go back to that and keep working. I would love to see Roddy. I want to see Roddy do a whole album with Mustard. Because when they do get together for a single, it's fire. And I want to see Roddy work with Hit Boy more. Both of those producers. Work with them two West Coast producers is what I'm saying to answer your question.
Right.
He has to work with those West Coast producers instead of chasing that Gunna, Young Thug, YouTube Atlanta rap sound.
So what was it that got Nipsey's attention? Was it the ATL sound or was it his Compton sound?
If the Compton sound, if you listen to even his early mixtape Feed the Streets 1 and 2, even though he's making trap music, the part of Compton he's from, we know, is very rural, just like Watts is very rural. It reminds you of the South. Even in Compton, they have farms, horses,
the
all
horse
of
land.
that. Right. So that's why you're going to hear that South influence. It's very rural on that part of town.
Damn.
So versus somebody who might be from Inglewood or the west side of LA or something like that, they're going to be more city-like. Versus somebody who's from certain parts of Watts or certain part of Compton, it's going to be more trap-derived, more down south-derived. They do their hair like that. They dress more down south derivative. So I feel like Roddy, he was influenced by that, but it's an authentic influence there, but it still got that West Coast pain, that West Coast soul. It still come from Nate Dogg.
Right.
You guys, what's more West Coast than that?
Not much.
Right. So I feel like might be, I can't speak for Nipsey, but that might be what attracted Nipsey to his music. Right. The authenticity of it.
Because that shit, it baffles me. I was just like, damn, this dude was on.
Yeah.
And he went, and then it just was like the fall was just not televised. It was just like, damn, he was up and then it was just gone.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he fell off musically. He's still a multimillionaire. He's still doing his thing, black man winning. But musically, I feel like he fell off. He had sophomore jinx, which happens to artists. His sophomore album, Live Life Fast, did not live up to, please excuse me for being antisocial. And my reasoning for it is because it was not a West Coast Compton sound. That would have won. Okay. Or even if it had lost, it would have lost as a West Coast project. Okay.
Copy that. Mm-hmm. So that's the music side of it. Now let's get to like the more personal side, the more personal walk. Yeah. And this is about you and how you went into a field unintimidated.
Okay.
What gave you the courage to say, I'm going to do this rap report card shit and I'm going to do this, and knowing that there's going to be backlash. You know, like I'm going to be judged, but you know what? I'm comfortable enough in my skin to do this. What gave you that confidence?
I had to have it. From my life experience, everything I had went through gave me the strength and courage to do that. It's just like my life was so not terrible, but just bad and rough and hard that it was just like, fuck it, let's do it.
I've been through it already.
Right, I've been through so much hell that it's like it can't get no worse. It's like, this is what I have to say, I'm gonna say it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What else y'all gonna do to me?
So the hell that you've been through, the roughness that you've been through, is that from childhood, school, just in general?
Existing. My existence has always been a challenge. I always had to.
Was that as a gay black man? Did that play a big part of it?
Gay black kid.
Gay black kid. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Just, being short, fat, gay, dark skinned, you know what I'm saying? Smart, a nerd, in an area that, I'm from the hood, that punish you. Why you talk like you white?
Yeah.
You think you better than me?
Yeah.
Type shit every day. That was my existence every day walking into school. And the only way I could deal with it was to either eat or be funny. You know what I'm saying? Or listen to music.
Right. And so that was your escape.
And that's what I do for a living. It's like I eat, I'm funny, and I talk about music. Because that's what I had. I work with what I had. So that's what I mean by the hell I went through. So by the time I was, what did I drop the program when I was like 26, 27? I had enough strength because I went through all of this shit.
You've already been through the bullshit. Like
all of this stuff I'm dealing with on social media, I dealt with this in real life.
In comparison to me, what I've been through, this ain't shit.
Yeah, everything everybody is saying about me, for the most part, that people are saying about me, people have said growing up in school, growing up in the hood to me. So it's like, it's whatever.
Whatever. It kind of rolls off. Like,
it's normal.
It's normal.
Just, there's people that I be telling, like, when even my friends, or I remember just conversations with Illa, she was like, damn, they saying all this about you. I was just like, this has been my whole life. I can't recall a time when people wasn't talking about me negatively like that. So,
damn. So have you surrounded yourself with positivity?
I try to, but I gotta be the positive. No matter who's surrounding me, I gotta be that for me. I gotta wake up and tell myself, Dejon, you are good enough, you are strong enough, you are beautiful, you are handsome, you are this, that, and the third. Hold your head high and go to work. Put the feeling. I don't really care how I feel, to be honest. Like, I just throw that to the side and I get to work. That's why I like working, because I don't have to focus on my feelings.
That's
like we was talking about. Yeah, I know it's problem, but that's just how I organize myself.
Isn't that crazy how like hardships can like lead you to your passion and lead you to your success line? Like, that's just crazy. Like, as much as you hate it, like, damn, can't stand that shit.
Yeah.
But damn, it led me to where I'm at now. Like, who's speaking life and speaking love into you right now? Like, who is your positive reinforcement? Who's the one, like, that you go to for that?
For me, first, it's going to always be myself.
Okay.
I have to be that for myself. It's most effective when it's coming from me, when I'm telling myself good things about myself and speaking life over myself. But people reach out to me with a lot of positive messages and things like that. And then I have a praying grandmother, you feel me?
Right.
I have parents that love me and things like that. And I have friends. You see my friends. I have genuine friends that, you feel me, want the best for me. So there is love in my life, absolutely. But most importantly, it has to come from me. That's what I'd be focused on.
That's because
if it doesn't, myself.
If it doesn't, if you don't have that,
nothing
all that other love
can't accept it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's when I started to see a change in my life. And again, I'm going to see another change in my life once I get rid of self-doubt. But once I start loving myself and telling myself I love myself and I respect myself and I care about myself, once I start doing that and holding my head up high, that's when I started to see my life change too.
Right. Yeah. Those positive affirmations in the morning, that hour that you got.
I just got to start sitting there for that hour and doing it instead of just throughout the day. I'd be like, okay, Dejon, you good, you XYZ, da.
Do you take time to reflect and look back on your successes?
I haven't. I'll just be in the thick of it. I'll be getting
See, I'm old.
Okay,
I'm an old man, and like, I see the success in people. You know what I mean? Like, I see what you've come from and see how the work that you put in. But sometimes you have to remind yourself.
Yeah.
Like, you put in the work, dude. You're supposed to be here. You deserve all this. Look at this. Look at this. And like, once you reflect on your successes, it gives you even more appreciation for where you're at.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah, I agree with you there. It's also something I have to do a better job of, is giving myself more credit.
You do.
For sure. But at the same time, I just got that, nigga, you ain't did shit yet mentality.
You got the Mamba mentality.
Yeah.
What you say earlier? You said,
job finished? Job ain't finished. That's my favorite quote, my favorite clip.
Job ain't finished.
Yeah, that's my, and I have a photo of Kobe holding me when I was a baby, because one of my aunts worked for the Lakers organization. And I always looked, just not as an athlete, but just as his mentality of how he attacked life.
Right.
It's always more work to do, pushing for greatness. I definitely have the Mamba mentality.
You have the Mamba mentality.
Yeah.
And rest in peace, Kobe. I love that dude,
Long
man.
live Kobe,
my favorite athlete, one of my favorite people. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
I've never met, that I've just known through TV or whatever. The thing about Mamba mentality is once Kobe was done with basketball, I don't want to say he had his regrets, but he recognized what was important.
Okay, yeah.
And it was family.
Family.
You know what I mean? His babies, you know, and that shit, because I understand Mamba mentality and all that stuff, and to go as hard as you can while you can, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And
to be the GOAT, to be the greatest that you can be.
To be the GOAT, you got to cut some people off. You gotta shed some weight. You know what I mean? Like, you can't take everybody with you.
Yeah.
And I think like at the end of it, he looked back and was like, some of the shit was not worth it because you got to be obsessive.
Yeah, you got to be crazy.
You got to be crazy.
Look at Kanye or anybody who's just so super divine and great in their field, respective field. You do got to be crazy and insane. But like we pointed out, I'm crazy. And you feel me? Like the whole like family thing is like, I don't intend on having children. So that's something I feel like that's not going to hold me back. So that might be an extra 10, 20 years that could be on my career because I'm not going to nobody graduations and spending time with kids and XYZ. That's just how I look at it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I don't have to retire at 50. I could retire at 60 or 65 as a record executive or XYZ or a magazine publisher or XYZ.
So, record executive. Is that what you want to do?
Absolutely. I mean, it's something that it could have been happening. I've had offers even this year from labels to come join them. The contingency for some of them was I could no longer do the report card. That's the reason I didn't fully accept those offers because I still want
conflict of interest.
From their perspective, yes. To me, they kind of go hand in hand. But from their perspective, it's like, no, we have too many artists out here on the West Coast, so we can't have you grading them, giving them Fs if they're technically your artist. So I understand it, and I just respectfully decline those offers. But it'll happen when it's supposed to happen in the right way. Right. Because I'm not done with the report card just yet. I'm not saying I'm not gonna be 50 grading rappers, but I'm not done. I'm still in my 20s. I'm not done with it.
So all these, somebody talked about 80 or something about all these execs are people from record artists that have been let go recently. Like all these.
Artists. Yeah. Atlantic from the Warner Music Group.
What is that about? What is this change that's coming about?
It's to me it's so shocking. So Lucian Grage's son. Lucian Grage is the chairman of Universal.
Okay.
His son was just appointed like CEO of Atlantic Records, which is under Warner. So it's like your son being the head of the biggest label at your competitor. So back when I was growing up, the big four was Universal, Sony, Warner, and EMI.
So dad Universal, son Warner. So son, really it's almost a little monopoly.
That's the perfect word for it. So now EMI no longer exists. Capital was sold to Universal. Now it's just Universal, Sony, Warner.
That's a monopoly.
And he has people
more than half.
Yeah. Universal, and your son is running Warner technically because he has its prime label. So yeah, that led to a lot of that led to that shift. Once he got there, he's like, no, we're gonna trim the fat. We dropping all these artists that aren't producing anything. We dropping all these execs that got these huge salaries that aren't bringing in anything. You know what I'm saying? You gotta think this is the streaming era. You're not making as much money off music itself as you used to. Touring wise, yes, but off the music itself is not. So we have to cut costs. If I'm a label, it's logical. The layoffs and the artists being dropped. It is very
so business wise, it's making sense. Like we're cutting, like basically we're cutting the waste. Whatever's waste, we get rid of it.
Yeah, but at the same time, how I would look at it, if I was one of those artists or if I was one of those execs, this is God or life or universe or what have you challenging you to go independent. This is the era of independence. So getting dropped from a label or getting fired from a label in 2024 is not as bad as it was in the 90s or 2000s when being independent was not the thing to do.
When you couldn't just get on camera whenever you wanted to.
Right,
like,
that
now
was
you
scary.
Yeah.
That's fucking scary. But now, I'm not on this label anymore. Okay, good. I go independent. I go get a distro deal, or I go, you feel me, just put the money at myself and go be fully independent, XYZ. But it's scary, but it's not as scary as back then.
Yeah, and then it's really not as scary because you've been on a record label. You have a following now.
You have the following, connection, expertise, knowledge, all of that.
It's not like you just starting from ground zero. Like, I'm gonna go independent. You ain't got nobody. Don't nobody even know you.
Right. Yeah. So it's not all bad news. Again, I'm sure it is a transition, but to me, it's not the end of the world. Is what I'm saying.
Would you suggest independence versus record label?
The only time I suggest a record label to an artist is if they make radio music and is if their career is contingent on radio music. Outside of that, I don't see the need for a label. The only thing a label can do for you that you cannot go find a team or another entity to do for you is get you on the radio consistently, because that costs a big bag and the labels have the bag for that.
Right.
But other than that, anything a label can do for you, a good PR that you pay a few $1,000s a month can do for you. You get what I'm saying? Or having a good body of work with a good push, a good marketing plan behind it could do for you, X, Y, Z. I feel like everything else outside of radio is not label contingent, but radio for the most part is label contingent.
Copy.
Mm-hmm.
I said I was only going to ask about no more artists.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to ask about this because this is another thing that I'm curious about. Does Lefty Gunplay just have an incredible team behind him?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who saw him get out of, like they saw him get released and were like, oh, I have the idea. I know how to run with it. Or is this something that just organically just is they're being taken advantage of, like they're just taking advantage of the opportunities at hand? Or do you think this was a play put out?
It could be a combination of all three, but it's definitely a team behind him. There's a team behind him pushing his music.
Because it's being, whatever they're doing is successful.
Yeah, and even but that could just be seeding. And by seeding, I mean you putting money behind these videos being placed all over Instagram. So that when you open up your explore page and you live in the state of California, you're going to see Lefty Gunplay. That's a seeding process. You get what I'm saying? Where you put together a budget, you get it to the right handler, and they spread the money out between 30 different platforms. And so now 30 different platforms has to post him 5 times a month. And just take it off Lefty Gunplay. This can go for anybody. Artist.
Yeah.
You got to give me 4 or 5 posts a month for this artist. You open up your explore page, you live out here, you're going to see that artist. You get what I'm saying? Is that translating to hit records? Is that translating to award nominations? Is that translating to critical acclaim? Not so much. Visibility, check that box off. That's a box. That's a box.
And so the reason why I even bring that up is because I saw him today. I don't know if it was today, but I saw it today.
Okay.
Where he was with La Russell.
Okay, yep.
And he was just in the studio session or something. But it made me think like, this nigga got an all-star team behind him, or he's just so infectious with who he is that other artists want to be around him. And I just started trying to make thoughts of how this is happening, because
could be a bit of both. Could be his team pushing him, but also could be like he does have a bit of a star factor. You get to him, there's some gravitas there that makes you pay attention to Lefty Gunplay when he pop up on your phone or when he step in a room. You add those things together, you got synergy. Synergy wins games.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that's really what I was like, because I was trying to think of the latest, like, I don't know how you guys say it, but the latest push of a successful artist, like a latest push of somebody just like, I didn't know anything about Lefty. Okay. Before he came on to Ace Boys Worldwide. All right. I think he may have had the community before. I don't know. But didn't know anything really about him. But just from that moment to less than a year, I think that was less than a year ago. Yeah. To where now I just see him everywhere, just doing stuff like
working with Hit Boy, all kind of things. Yeah. You know, he's getting to it, and it's good to see. It's good to see LA artists stepping up to the plate and applying pressure, or having a team apply the pressure, whatever's going on. You know, keep up the good work.
Maybe take some notes.
Please take some notes, because not dropping music for 5 years and posting just when you do drop, just posting on Instagram out now is not cutting it.
Who is that?
That's a plethora of artists. A bevy of artists. Yes. They haven't
hipped themselves to the new game. They haven't learned. They haven't changed with the times. Like,
stuck on that typical LA rapper shit. We lackadaisical. We don't have hustler mentality out here. We got gang mentality. You feel me? Gang mentality is go post up on a block, smoke, drink, and just sit there all day. That's gang mentality. Until it's time to do something else. Hustler mentality. it's
Go to
clicking,
get it.
trap jumping. Like down south, they got that hustler mentality. Like, no, I got to drop. You know, out in the Midwest, they got that hustler mentality. Like, I got to drop at least 2-3 times this year. But out here, we got artists that will be mad they not on the report card. I go to their Apple Music, they ain't dropped since 2021, 2022.
Fuck.
They ain't putting that out.
Hey, what do you mean you ain't on the rap?
What am I grading?
Yeah, like that's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's next? What's next?
What's next for me? I'm gonna get settled in at FMW. I'm gonna continue to play my role at Fair to Say, and that's gonna be a much bigger podcast come next year.
It's growing from podcast from each show. It's growing
episode to episode. Yeah, I have a lot of new content, new podcasts, new shows coming out starting next year. I'm working on something with T-Rail at FMW, but also I'm going to elevate the LA Rap Workshop and get that on camera because we've been doing that Twitter Spaces for 3 years. It's time for that to be an on-camera show. Have a few different podcast projects. I'm trying to have like 10, 15, 20 podcasts all going at once. Like, yeah, even whether I'm on camera or not, I'm trying to have all of that going. You got it going. Yeah, I want to have all of that going at once and all of them be like entertaining, but productive as well. Right. Like not no bullshit.
There's a mission.
Yeah,
each podcast there's a mission that's to be impactful.
Yeah, not no bull. I'm not gonna have no bullshit podcast. And just expanding the Dejon Paul brand, extending the Dan Lay by Dejon Paul brand, expanding the Rap Report Cards by Dejon Paul brand, and leveling it up, but keeping up the tradition. So we did the 5th LA Fresh Recovery this year. Next year we're gonna do the 6th annual. We got the report card project dropping. I have a report card compilation dropping with it to give you guys an example of, okay, not only this is what I'm expecting you to sound like, hear this, and this is what I'm expecting you to give you an example, like a tangible of it. So that's going to be dropping with the next report card, and I'm going up from there.
Ooh, that's, you know what would be crazy if A&Rs or whatever those positions are in the music world were had a rap report card, right? Empty.
A blank one.
And said, go judge yourself on your album. I'm going to do one. You do one. Yeah. He's going to do one. We're going to do 5 of these.
Yeah, I want one in every label, every studio across America. I want it to be blank rap report card.
And no name on the top of the grade. Like, we're going to do this. We're going to give it 5 people in here that are part of this project.
Yeah.
We're all going to do our assessment. Maybe it'd be on the computer.
Even anonymous. Yeah.
And no one knows.
No bias. Yeah.
And so that way the grade is based off of that.
And I have to, I have to thank and pay homage to Kumo D, who invented the rap report card back in like 19.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
I had no idea.
I've said it in interviews before. Kumo D, the rapper, legendary, one of the pioneers of hip hop. He invented the rap report card in 1987, I believe. He put it out. He gave himself the highest grade. He graded himself and gave himself the highest grade, and then everybody else had lower grades than him. So I don't XYZ. Yeah. But when you open up his album, that was in the album sleeve, rap report card. So that was like kind of like a marketing tool for him. And I kind of made it more of like a constructive journalism type element. But many platforms have done it in the interim. That was 87. There's different magazines and different publications that have done rap report cards in the interim. I was the first one to make it regional, like LA, Atlanta, New York, make it like city focus. But I have to pay homage to him, but also before him, because ain't nothing new under the sun, we have to pay homage to Berry Gordy and the Motown quality checks. You got to think, because remember, he used to be a Ford employee. Yeah. And that they used to do the same quality test before they let the car
I've been telling people to take the manufacturing process into all walks of life.
Everything.
Quality assurance, quality check, quality control. Support. Quality control.
Yeah, so before any Motown record went out, every employee from secretaries up to producers, musicians would go in a room, Barry would play the record for them and ask them their opinion. And if it didn't get enough votes, the record didn't come out.
Really?
Yes.
So, I didn't know about that.
So that motto has always, since I found out about that as a kid, I've always had that in my head. Like, you want to know people, the feedback. Right. That's how you check the record. How are people reacting to it? Honest feedback. Jermaine Dupri don't drop a record until he said he got to go to a strip club with it and play it for a certain set of strippers, and how they dance to it, how they react to it. That's when he knows it's a hit. So that's his version of quality control, and that's that product test. Right. And so I have to pay homage to Kumo D and Berry Gordy for inspiring me to bring that quality control and artist development element back to hip hop.
That's freaking dope. You know, because I've graded myself, like, and I'm D plus, right?
Yeah, I agree. With my grade, I grade myself. I'd be like, you're an F. I'm gonna get you to an
A. You got to be your hardest critic, though, right?
Absolutely.
But guess what we have that other people don't have.
What's that?
That haven't had in the past. We have our constructive criticism.
Yeah.
In real time.
Real time.
You know
they
what
get
I mean?
a little carried away with it.
They get.
We do.
You can decipher between the motherfuckers that's hating and they're just shooting the shit. But in the chat, shout out to the chat first off. Shout out to the chat during lives, pre-recorded through the premieres. Yeah. It's dope because they get to tell you like, hey, your audio on Dejon, you needed to have the audio up, or didn't like the way the camera was, or when Dejon was talking, you were saying yeah, right, or too much, or you were talking over Dejon. And I get this shit in real time. It's like a podcast report card. Like, okay, these are things I need to work on. And so our constructive criticism is coming from our people.
Yep, I agree. That's exactly how I look at it, boss. For real. I think that we get those. I love the critiques. Now, you're right. As we start the episode off with, there's a difference between hate and critique.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, the hate gets annoying, but a critique, somebody telling me, oh, I watched your podcast or I read your magazine and I like this about it, but I feel like this could be better. That's a critique, and that means I got some work to do.
Right.
And I do have a lot of work to do.
Right. We all do. And it's very valuable that we have the opportunity for that, because some people don't know what the fuck they got going on, because there's nobody strong enough to sit there and be like, hey, dude, the shit you got going on, you got to change this and that. But we got people that are tapped in, and you have your fan base who's tapped into you.
Oh, and they check me. They for sure check me. And I appreciate it. They'll let me know when I misspell something or XYZ. They for sure get at me.
Yeah. And I'm just excited about what's next. You know what I mean? Because I feel like I saw you first on the TV with T-Rail and AD. That's when I got introduced to you.
That's a hell of an introduction. That's a hell of an introduction.
But look, I sided with you on a lot of that.
Okay.
And I understood what AD and T-Rail were talking about, but they were coming from more so, maybe T-Rail, but they were more defensive.
Yeah, to what I was saying.
To what you were saying.
Yeah.
But me being an employee my whole life, like wherever I've worked 1,000 places, it wasn't a disrespectful thing.
It's not a slur.
It's not a slur. Like if somebody's cutting you a check, paying you some money, you work for them.
It's a great thing to be employed.
I'm not saying you're not a boss personality, like that you ain't a boss of your shit, but
I'm talking about in this moment where we're at this very time, this is the classification for you, which is why I had, even though I regret it, I still had no problem going to become one, because I didn't mean it in that way. And not to, also, I'm pushing for there to be more black DJs employed on LA radio. So I never once show any angst against being an employee. And I got it. You know what I mean? But sometimes you could be in the middle of a debate or disagreement, and things can be taken out of perspective. You know what I mean? And misconstrued. And it's like, no, y'all are employees here. Yeah. What do you mean? And I got it. So I never was like, fuck this. Like, I ain't fucking with him. It was like, I get what he's saying. They just having a misunderstanding. We got off on the wrong foot, me, T-Rail, AD, and now we cool and was able to work past it. And you know, I love those guys and have a lot of respect for them, but we really got off on the wrong foot. It's a funny story to tell people.
But look,
we really got off on the wrong foot.
Look how that turned out, though.
Yeah.
To what it is today. It started as this, and look at what it is today.
Yeah, it's a whole 180. Yeah,
it's a whole 180, and that's the thing that I be trying to tell to like my kids, to younger people, is like, don't burn the bridge. Yeah, keep these lines of communication open. Don't ever be too big to say I was wrong. Yeah, you know what? This is maybe. You know what? I understand. I understand your perspective. I see how that can be taken out of context.
As offense, yeah.
And so I saw that, and then I'm looking at the progression and the production that you've been, the trajectory that you've been on. And I'm just a fan, just sitting witness like, okay, let's see what's next.
Thank you, man.
And so the sky's the limit.
Really, for real. I'm excited for next year. 2025 is going to be the year.
Bring it in, in 2024 strong.
Yep.
And so 2025, this has been my whole thing is like, I want to finish 2024 off strong so that we could go into 2025 running.
Yeah, let's do it. FMW up. Yeah.
If you ever need anything
I'ma
from
hit
me,
you.
please hit me up. I ain't got
Like-
much to offer. You know what I mean?
You got
But-
plenty of wisdom. Stop it.
But
Yeah.
this is always an open door policy. You ever
Thank
want to
you.
come back? You want to chop it up about anything?
Yeah.
Anytime.
Thank you, bro.
Come through and come hang out with the people. This is Reality Check with Rios, episode 12 with my boy Dejon.